So the bubble this year has been pretty soft. Soft is a kind word. And for this particular bracketology, I had 10 teams fighting for the last 6 at-large spots. You had Michigan, Oregon State, Butler, Tulsa, Alabama, Cincinnati, Florida, George Washington, VCU, and Vanderbilt. One of the biggest reasons for the lack of the solid bubble teams this year is how down the mid-major conferences have been. The Mountain West has been regularly sending 3 to 4 teams to the NCAA tournament each year over the past couple seasons, but it's most likely going to be a one-bid league. It's San Diego State and nobody else, and even San Diego State might not make the big dance if they go on and not win the conference tournament. You've got the West Coast Conference. Gonzaga's a regular fixture every year. Well, if they don't win the conference tournament, they're not going to make it. So that's most likely going to be a one-bid league. And even when you look at St. Mary's, which still does not have a top 50 RPI win. They only have 4 losses in the year, but it's not a sure thing that they'd make the big dance. The same is also true in the Missouri Valley Conference. Wichita State might make it as an at-large, but if the Shockers win Arch Madness, that's a one-bid league. And again, the Shockers, it'll be really interesting to see how the committee evaluates them, because I talked about this in the last bracketology and how injuries come into play. Fred VanVleet did not play in the Advocare Invitational. The MVC and the WCC have been seemingly, sending multiple bids to the big dance the last few years. And again, they're probably going to be one-bid leagues. The only mid-major conference really holding its own this year is the Atlantic 10, which has the possibility of sending as many as 5 teams to the NCAA tournament. Dayton and St. Joe's are pretty much locks at this point, while St. Bonaventure, GW, VCU, they're going to be sweating it out come Selection Sunday. Florida. Oh yeah, the Gators. Currently my first team out. That might surprise some. The Gators are in a big funk right now. Losers in 3 of their last 4 games, 4 of 6 overall, and 2 of those losses came at home to respective bubble teams in Alabama and Vanderbilt. Florida is just 2-5 against the top 25 of the RPI, 2-7 against the top 50. That's the big number there as to, my main argument as to why I don't think they're a tournament team at this time. So it's on the outside looking in for Florida. VCU is another team that took a step backward this week with a loss at George Mason, which is ranked 175th in the RPI. That's now 2 losses for the Rams against the sub-150 of the RPI. That basically cancels out their 2 wins against the top 50 of the RPI, St. Joe's and the Bonnies. Vanderbilt picked up a key road win at Florida. They still have work to do. The Commodores are 1-5 against the top 25 of the RPI, just 6-9 against the top 100. I'll say this, though. This team is definitely capable, in my opinion, to make a Sweet 16 run if they get in. Damian Jones is a handful down low. Wade Baldwin is a very solid point guard. Reminds me a little bit of Russell Westbrook, especially the way he attacks the rim. He's got that funky-looking jump shot the way Russell does. And, the other thing about Vanderbilt, I love the way they share the ball. And the other thing that you got to take into account with this team is the injury to Luke Cornett earlier this season. Vandy's looked a lot better with him in the lineup. As of right now, Tulsa is my last team in. The Golden Hurricane picked up a key win against Temple, which has catapulted them into the field of 68. As for Temple, the Owls would be in my last 4 in if they weren't leading the AAC. They have 3 games against sub-top 100 teams in the RPI that closed the year. They got to win all 3 because you can't afford to get another bad loss, and they pretty much got to get to the finals of the conference tournament to ensure a bid. I don't think Temple's that good. I don't think they're the best team in the conference. I don't think they're going to win that conference. I don't even know if they're going to get to the finals of the conference tournament. So, yeah, we'll see about the Owls. I mean, they were the first team out in last year's bracket. So, yeah, we'll see about that. The big-time showdown this week took place Wednesday night at Xavier. The Musketeers had a solid showing against Villanova. So Xavier is once again on the top line. They're actually ahead of Villanova now in my I guess the big board, ahead in the overall rankings. With Virginia's loss to Miami on Monday night, I've got Oklahoma back on the 1 line. But if the Cavaliers can beat North Carolina on Saturday, that'll probably put them back as a top seed in Monday's Bracketology. So that's it for this video. Bracketology is down below in the comment section. It's in the description box. Make sure you check it out. So that's it. See you guys Monday for another one. Later.